Bronson Cave Incident. On the morning of July 1st, 1985, two friends, Michael Hall, 25, and Roman Lazowski, 24, stood at the mouth of Bronson Cave in Spring Hill Park near Bloomington, Indiana. Heavy rain had fallen through the night, and the air was thick with moisture. Still, they were determined. Their plan was to follow the underground stream from Bronson Cave to its exit at Donaldson Cave, a route Lazowski had explored before. Clad only in shorts and tennis shoes, and each carrying a flashlight, they stepped into the cave. But the stream they expected had turned into a powerful torrent. The water reached their waists, surging with force. At first, it was thrilling. They laughed, pushed forward, and treated it like an adventure. But soon, the current grew too strong. When they tried turning back, they realized the water was too powerful to fight. They had no choice but to continue downstream. Then, disaster struck. Lazowski lost his footing and was swept away. He slammed into the rock walls but managed to grab a narrow ledge. He shouted a warning to Hall, who tried to follow, but the water immediately overwhelmed him. His flashlight bobbed briefly above the surface before vanishing into the darkness. By a stroke of luck, Hall was swept close to the Donaldson Cave exit. There, he managed to grab a railing and pull himself out. Bruised and disoriented, he stumbled into daylight and ran for help, convinced that Lazowski hadn't made it. But inside the cave, Roman Lazowski was still alive. Freezing and alone, he spotted a small crevice just above the rushing stream. It offered a 6-inch wide ledge, just enough to wedge himself in. A former Marine with survival training, he knew he had to stay calm. The cave was 54 degrees, his clothes were soaked, and the damp air pulled the warmth from his body. He couldn't sleep, not without risking a fall. Time dragged on. He talked to himself, imagined a companion, and debated NBA draft picks just to keep his mind sharp. Periodically, he shouted for help, though his voice was lost in the stone. Outside, emergency crews assembled. Thanks to Hall's information, rescuers knew roughly where Lazowski was, but flooding prevented safe entry from either cave entrance. One team had to turn back after 600 feet. Another tried Donaldson Cave, but was stopped by a submerged ceiling. Desperate, rescuers began drilling from above. By Wednesday morning, nearly 55 hours after Lazowski had entered, rescuers equipped with wetsuits reached a low-ceilinged area in Donaldson Cave. A flashlight beam caught Lazowski's face. A voice called out. He had been found. Using a bullhorn, they urged him to stay calm. At 5 p.m., rescuer Steve Collins reached his ledge and threw a rope across the stream. Lazowski tied it off, but as they tried pulling him across, the anchor failed. Both men were swept away. Further downstream, another team was ready. They caught them. Lazowski was quickly fitted with a helmet and wetsuit top. Secured to a rope system above the stream, he was slowly guided out of the cave. At 8 p.m., he finally emerged, shivering, drained, but alive. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors treated him for hypothermia, dehydration, and exhaustion. After 55 hours alone in freezing darkness, Roman Lazowski had survived.